Hi, welcome to the Intro and Signing In module for AdvancedMD and Medicom Management Services. This is the first video to begin our journey into implementing the electronic health record across all of our sites. Keep in mind that I'm ad-libbing this video here. I don't have a script, so I don't expect everything to go perfectly. I'm doing this as if I were doing a live demonstration. My intent here is to keep each video, each training module at 10 minutes or less. This will allow everyone to sort of watch them at their leisure, in between patients while you're working. And if you ever have any trouble, actually, while you're working, you can go back to these modules and find the answers to some of your questions. Now, AdvancedMD does put on a ton of videos and a ton of live training sessions daily that we can access. The truth of it is they are so in-depth and they would take you so long to watch that I've decided to try to just cut it down to the component parts that are important for us to learn and keep this short and sweet, hopefully. But there are many other resources that you can go to, which I will provide access to for everyone. So on a broad scale here, AdvancedMD is it's really two different programs. There is a practice manager program, or what they call their PM, and there is their EHR, which is the electronic health record. On this sign-in screen, there's also the advanced EMR. That's not something that we use. I believe that is for practices that don't use the practice manager. It is like a standalone EMR that can be used with any practice manager. The practice manager is where we enter demographics, do all the billing. The EHR is where all the protected health information will be. We'll be using a demonstration key throughout all these demonstrations, so any information you see inside of it was provided by AdvancedMD and is fictitious. So let's get started. AdvancedMD is web-based. You can access it from any computer. Your computer it has a little bit of a setup process that has to be done to it for AdvancedMD to work, but there's no software. That's just some internet security settings that have to be changed. If you need that done, we can help you with that. When you first sign in, each person should have their own username and a password should have been given. And then you'll notice there's an office key field here. The office key basically is a numeric sequence that is assigned to each of our offices, to every AdvancedMD office. So there's only one sign-in screen for every office, and based on the office key is which practice you get brought into. So we're going to be using this demonstration key with a demonstration username and password for me. And the demonstration keys, let's try that again. And the demonstration key is a 6-digit key, as they all are. And everyone should have access to the key for the practice they work at. Ideally, it would be placed on your terminal so you can see it at all times, but over time you'll begin to remember it. So one of the pitfalls here that happens pretty frequently is that when you sign in with your username, the system defaults this to all capital letters. So even if I have my caps lock off, it's going to display my username with all caps. When you move to the password section, you obviously can't tell if your caps lock is on or off, but this field is case sensitive. If your caps lock is on accidentally and you're trying to enter your username or your password in lowercase, it will fail to allow you in, and it will tell you your password's wrong. So what happens is a lot of people, when they're in this field, believe that their caps lock is on. They move down to this field, they hit the caps lock key as if to turn it off, but they accidentally turn it on. Then they type in their password and it tells them that the password's wrong. And then they enter it again and again, and after 5 attempts, it's going to lock you out of the system. So just pay close attention to your caps lock key here when you're signing in. So I'm going to sign into, if you enter your username and password and just hit enter right now without clicking any of these buttons, it'll bring you right into the practice manager, which is where most people are working out of right now. The physicians, for the most part, wouldn't necessarily need to be in the practice manager. They would enter directly into the EHR, and it's the same username and password for both programs. Now you can have the practice manager open without the EHR. You could have the EHR open without the practice manager, or you could have both of them open. They function truly independently, but they cross-talk. All right, so I'm going to go into the practice manager first because that's where most people are used to, because I'm going to show you a trick. Now, the very first time you log in, it's going to ask you to change your password because you have a temporary password. That's a step that I'm not going to show you, but it's pretty self-explanatory. If you find yourself in the practice manager accidentally and you really wanted to go into the EHR, that's why I showed this screen. There's a button right here. If you hover over this launches the EHR. Now what that means is you're actually going to have both things open. You'll have the practice manager open and you'll have the EHR open if you go in this way. What it won't do is ask you for your password again. So I just clicked it and it's going to bring me right into the EHR after a couple of splash screens. And my intent here was to show you that I actually have both things open. Okay, I can use either one of the two. All right, and I still have my sign-in screen here, which I can close. This is unnecessary. So you can close your sign-in screen if you want to once you're in. But this is the EHR as it looks out of the box. We're going to customize it shortly. And this is the practice manager. So you can close the practice manager here if you're really only interested in the EHR. And we can go back to our EHR. And similarly, if you're in the EHR and signed in and you really want it to be in the practice manager, you can go to this button right up here in the corner. It looks just like the other button we clicked to move from the practice manager to the EHR, and it says open practice manager. So if I click this, it does the opposite, which is open back up the practice manager, which I closed. Okay, I'm going to close the EHR or the practice manager, and that will end this session.